I remember my parents fighting a lot, and my sister's crying. And I guess I was about 15, and they were splitting up again. And I was headed to some friend's house, and for the first time in a long time, I remember my dad saying, "I love you." But I was so mad that they were splitting up that I left, and my dad killed himself. And about a month later, my mom had a wreck and was in coma, and she ended up dying. So there I was at 15 with 2 younger sisters and 1 older sister, and just furious at God for why he would do this to poor kids.
My mother, I believe, started drinking, and then my dad, of course, followed, and they ended up in a terrible divorce. We had been very sheltered, my brother and myself, and so we were never really around anybody that, you know, that drank or did anything like that. So whenever we did get around them, then it was like that influence took over our life. I met an older man, and he moved me away from everything that I knew, which I know now that was God's blessing. But I ended up pregnant at 17 with my first son, and then had my second one at 19. And when I was 6 months pregnant with him, I left my first husband and came back to Abilene from Fort Worth. But the good thing about it was I was sober.
I got married. My first marriage lasted just a year. My friends was married to her friends, so we got married, but we always hung out drinking and fighting. And anyway, so that didn't last long, and I moved home. The guy I was working with introduced me to his cousin, which was Tracy. And we hit it off, and we ended up getting married. I fell in love with her boys. I thought as long as I paid the bills and supported my kids and had a good home, that, you know, I didn't have a drinking problem. But we were in and out of separating. The drinking was getting worse, and I didn't know that she couldn't handle it, that it was just killing her inside. I had taken her to a baseball game, and on the way home, of course, I was drinking, and we got in a fight. And when I got home, that was it. We were done. As soon as I pulled up in the driveway, we both got in vehicles and we left. And I remember looking for an apartment, just driving around, and I heard this, "You need, go get a Bible. Go get a Bible and read. Find out what God would do." And I was like, okay. So I went to Walmart and got a Bible and brought it home. And I remember opening it up to I've never read a Bible. And I opened it up, and there was Ephesians 5 telling you to love your wife like you love the church. And I woke up the next morning, and my wife was home in her bedroom. So I went outside, and I was watering the grass and the trees. And all of a sudden I heard this clear as day. God saying, "You need to go in there and ask her for forgiveness." So I went in the house, okay, and I fell to my knees, and I told my wife, I said, "I'm sorry." And I asked her forgiveness, and I was expecting, okay, whatever, because she's heard me say I'm sorry a million times, but I've never asked for forgiveness like this. And she knew it, and she kind of backed up and like, "What's wrong with you?" You know? And I said, "God just told me he's going to take care of everything if we just listen to him." And I mean, I was drinking the night before, and I've not touched a drink since then. I have not even wanted a drink. He took that from me. I know he did. And I felt all this weight off my shoulders.
It was through the world spirit powers here at Beltway, and that's where my life was completely changed. That was the first experience that I had with the Holy Spirit. The anger and all of the baggage from everything we had gone through was taken that night.
And then March the 24th of 2019, we both rededicated our lives. Mm-hmm. And baptism was more than just getting dunked in some water. It was letting everyone know that we are changed.
It's just amazing, like what God has done and who He has put in our life through Reengage and through Beltway.
There's been no drinking and there's been no separations. There's been nothing but God in our lives. And we owe all the glory and thanks to Him because He didn't have to come into my life or her life like He did. And He did. And
yeah, He sought us. It's awesome.
We were just obedient and allowed it and said yes and give everything to Him.